Hello, my name is Jorman, and this is one of my first allegories. Uh, it's a way for me to explain what I'm seeing and the world in a way that makes sense to me, and in a way that God speaks to me and how He helps me understand the things that I see and perceive, and I think maybe it will help some people too. So, this is my allegory. There was once a being, and by the way, my allegory is not going to be that like um, crazy or profound. Like the words that I speak are what I mean. Like nothing behind it. There was once a being, mighty and powerful, gracious and capable of imaginable power, capable of doing anything he pleases. And possessed of all this knowledge and wisdom, he wanted to share it and he wanted to talk about it and he wanted to express it and scream it aloud. But it was he himself and I. And in order to make something akin to him, he will have to do something a little bit special. So this unimaginable being of greatness created a whole universe. I mean, to him that means nothing. It's just enough a thought. And in the process of doing this, he understood that his creations will have to make choices like he did. Because when you're a being of power and sovereignty, you have to be able to choose what you want to do. But how do you teach that? I mean, how do you teach something, the awareness of choice, the awareness of what's proper and what's not? And he said, you know what? How about we just put them in an environment where they can do anything, whatever they choose. And I will write within their hearts a story which tells them how kindness and graciousness and discipline and loving and all these things come natural to them, come, like a spark of joy to them. But I'm also gonna give them the other side, the side that goes, I don't like this, I'm going to erase it. I dislike this feeling, so I'm going to set it away, or I don't like that, so I'm gonna change it. And in the process of doing that, he created us on his image, a being of almighty grace and magnitude to be understanding and seeing upon him. So that is the story of creation. So that's it. That's the Genesis. It's that simple. Not fancy words to it. If that's deep, then let's go to the next part, which is the setting. Creates the whole world, and he sets things in motion, and things you just keep on rolling. To the point where awareness to the beings that he created starts to become kind of like a real thing. Like, yo, this little area that we've been playing around, this is kind of weird. There's something going on here. Who created this? Who made this? Why they made this? Because, like, I feel it. I feel it inside of me. And the moment people started to share that, suddenly we all realized that we were all sharing something similar. And at that point is where God goes, time to get to work. And this is the beginning of my allegory. Well, it was the premise before that. God creates a world, and he sets humanity in motion. And he puts down his first men. There's people around, and there's persons and humans, but he puts down the first man. He puts down the first man who becomes very aware of how powerful and mighty he is. I mean, he's omnipotent on this earth, capable of destroying and breaking, capable of not needing anybody. He lives in the woods all by himself. He hunts as he pleases, he lives as he pleases. Raiders try to come and stop him, and they can do nothing. He is protected by the Lord. But he doesn't know this. He does not know that God even exists. You see, that's how God be doing this, because he's like, okay, I'm going to put you on earth. Now it's the real process. This is how we evolve, and this is how the branches that I've made upon this earth flourish and then become this beautiful grove to harvest these men and these women that I'm dying and desiring to meet. So he creates them up, puts them on this in this plane on earth. And people start to see this individual as being a little bit different, and they start to seek him out. They start to um, come to his little hut. Let's give an example. A person comes over and she's hungry. She says, I'm hungry. I have nothing to eat. Will you feed me? And he has plenty of food. He he has as much as he needs. So he says, of course, why not? And he does that, and he kind of feels warm. He kind of feels nice. Now he says, go away, woman, for I do not need you. She leaves with the food. Um, the next day, uh, wicked people, knowing that the woman had come back with food, go there to try to take it from the man. And as they approach and they say, man, give us your food or we will kill you and hurt you. So you better do it. The man thinking, man, I fight lions, bears, like I cut trees with my own hands. Who do you think you are? And the men attack him and he just submits them right away. And instead of killing them, he tells them to leave him, to go away, to not bother him. And the people leave, and the men go back and go, hold up. Did he just beat us up and not kill us like we do? And not take what we have? Why did he just set us in our way? The next day, a small child stops by and in awe of all the men, just captivated by somebody who would, treat them like a plaything, kick their butt and just leave him alone. Who is this being? So the children go to check on him, and the children say, hey, who are you? He says, hey, I'm just a man. Leave me alone. I just want to live my life here. And the children go, well, how can we, live our life like you, man? And he goes, I don't know. And the man starts to pay attention to the world around him, to the people, to the things. And the things that make sense to him, that become clear to him, just start to awaken and become to palpate within him. And because there's resonate within him so well, he's able to express this to others and talks to them about it. And it sounds mystical and, otherworldly, when in reality is doing nothing more than being a man. Kind, sovereign, loving, and forgiving. And God goes, you got it. That's it. Just be a man. And, the way that those people and those person were getting angry and upset and hurting each other and not helping one another. And, if the needy ask you for help and you can help, you do it, because that's what men do. People may not. People may be afraid, and a person may be scared and run away, but men and women, we do not. We know the difference. There's nothing special about loving God and following Him. That is like the very necessity and basic part of being a human being. It's just simple. And if you can now do that, if He has yet to reveal Himself in your heart, then why not be kind and polite to one another? It makes you feel better. You know that. You know that. And if you don't know why, if you don't want to dig in and figure out what part of you is the one that leans towards those actions, towards those of kindness and forgiveness, and what part of you leans towards the ones of meanness and cruelty, the allegory shows the difference between a man and people. And the essence of that is that it's not complicated. And I'm not going to overcomplicate it by saying that this is, God chosen or anything like that. No, that's weird. That's odd. It's happy culture. This is just what I believe. God is within every single one of us. Every single one of us. He created every single grass on the outside, every single branch, every single leaf, everything. Everything that you consider bad, cancer, disease, He created that too. He sure did. I think I know why. But that's a video for another time, right? So that was my first allegory. I don't know how it was. Hopefully it wasn't too terrible. Goodbye. My name is Jorman. Mwah.